Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargame Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a Let's Build video. What are Let's Build videos and what they're all about? Well, Let's Build videos, I take a model kit and I show you how to put it together. If there's any areas of concern on the sprue, like something, like there's chains or there's skulls or there's piping that you need to be careful of taking off, I'll give you guys a heads up. If there's anything numbered on the instructions different to the sprue, again, this is a visual way to show you, look, this is wrong, it should be this piece here. Give you a heads up. If you suffer dyslexia or struggle with instructions in general, it's a visual way to help you. If you're interested in new models or a new box, game to start playing and start looking at, this is a visual way just to show you, it's how easy they are to build. Sometimes I build big massive models on here like Angron, the Silent King, other big things like that, Kara's Fate Weaver, and it's just making it more accessible to everyone, so everyone can go, okay, let me go and buy this model now because I can actually build it. I've been shown how to build it and I can do it. So for all my regulars here, guys, I would love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I have it here. I'm going to get it built so then the models can be painted up and eventually, hopefully, they can be a game played. Now, tools needed as usual. Multi-line scraper. Now, you can use a hobby knife or some sort of surgical blade. If you use a bladed tool, just be careful because it is sharp, and just let people know that you're using a bladed tool so nobody scares you by accident. Clippers, most useful part of our kit. Now, I do have sanding block. You can get sanding block or sanding sponge. It's basically foam with sandpaper around the edge. This is fine grit. It's really handy for getting into like pipe works and stuff like that. There's a plastic kit. It's a plastic box. So I have plastic glue, but I do have super glue at hand just in case. Now, I'm not going to go through the rules of this game and how it works because I haven't played it. Okay. The rules are in here, everything's in it. This is a starter box. Now, I do want to play games to this, but for now, I'm just getting the models, building the models, getting them painted up, and eventually when I have, say, 20 models, then I'll say, well, okay, let me have a game of this now. Let's figure out how this works. But there's 10 models in this box set. Okay, this is the core set, the starter box. It is CP1, which is Command Protocol 1. The first models that you buy. There's 10 models in this box. As you can see, everyone's friendly. There's Miss Marvel, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America. You've got Red Skull, Doc Octopus, Ultron. I don't know who this crazy got dude is. I don't know who this crazy dude is either. So I'm going to I think he's actually the one from the Captain America Civil War film, I think, who starts trying to go after Captain America. I think that's who that is. Anyway, I'm going to pop the box open, get the instructions set up and get everything else set up and start looking at models because there's a lot of different sprues on it in here. Like normally I'll go through the sprues and just go like, hey, let's break everything down to make it easier and ascertain what's what and what goes where and everything else. But this whole box is full of sprues. It's just absolutely, these are building sprues. Okay, look at that, it's a lamp, it's brilliant. This is some more building sprue with a car. Those are all bases because they'll come with different size bases. This is some models. This is other models with building by the looks of a dump truck, I think it is. Oh, smokes. There's another sprue. Absolutely. This is a bonkers kit. But the good thing with this kit is, once we start building a couple of guys, you start eliminating what's what and what's not. So what I'm going to do, I might start with the easiest things, which will be the buildings, and clear those out of the way. So I'm going to have a flick through the instruction book, because the instruction book how to build them is actually in the rule book as well. So it's all one book. And I'll come back with what I'm going to decide to build first of all. Right, so I've decided to start with the car first. It's very simple. There's building there as well, but we'll start with the car first and get that out of the way. Well, that's a mess up. They give me both the same sprue. I meant to have one of these and the sprue with the top of the car on it. I'm going to another search through the box. Look for these sprues here, see if I've missed it. Oh, no, I got scared. The bottom of the box has this thing in it, yeah? And it's in one of these sleeves that it sits, and there's a little range finder in the other sleeve. I didn't realise that, because when I first looked at it, I was like, where's the range finder so you can do the movement for them? Because the way the movement works is 1 to 3, I think it is, but there's a little round cog in the middle. So if you want to move around the building, you just move the range finder, put it at the front of the base, and bend it so it bends around the building, and then that's where they move to. It's very, very simple. Oh, I thought I might have bought that, but I didn't realise it was in the box. That needs assembling as well, by the way. So anyway, so there's I'm going to ascertain what's what now. There's the top of the car. There's the base of the car. There's 2 of them. There's 4 tyres. There's 2 little wing mirrors, and there's a little taxi sign to go on top. Now, one car can have a taxi sign, one car doesn't have to. It's up to you. But the first thing we're going to need is one of these weird things. So I'm going to snip them both off, clean them both down. Won't need much cleaning, and I'll come back to you and, well, I'm going to clip these 2 off, clean them down. And these 2 bits are the ones we need next. So I'm going to clip those off, clean those down. I'll come back and show you how they go together. Right, so this is very straightforward. The base has 2 holes at the back here and nothing the other side. So that's the exhaust of the car. There's 2 big holes there, 2 holes in the middle, there's 2 holes at the back. That just slots in. You see the tyres have the little bits that click in there. Also the wheel arches, I say. So I'm gonna glue that into place. Yeah. On both of them, and then come back for the next piece. Right, one cautionary note: when you're putting this together, sometimes it requires a little push, but you've put glue into it, so always look away when you're doing it and just push it into place. Okay, or put some eye protectors on. Now these tyres, there's the outside of the tyre, and there's a little hole that they click into. Okay, there's no particular order what tyre goes where. It says there is. It says number 5, number 6, yeah, number 7, number 8, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, but they all look the same to me. So I'm just going to snip off and whack them on. It's a piece of terrain in the end of the day. But it's going to be a mad. It's going to be mad for me. Used to painting things like hex mark destroyers and, you know, other things, demons and whatnot, painting the car. Anyway, I'm going to clip those off and glue those in, and then come back and show you the next piece. Just got carried away with myself there. Right, so I glued all the other 3 on, so I'm going to show you how this one goes on. Literally just goes like that. It's done. Well, it's not finished, there's still a few more bits to do. The next pieces that we need, I'm just doing one on camera. I'm going to do the other one off camera because it's exactly the same. And the 2 wing mirrors. Okay, so that is how they would go on the car, and that's where they go in. So this one here would go in there. That one would go in that side. Now forgive me if you get them upside down. You can't. Just in there, so there's that little nip sticking out from just on the right hand side of the square. If you look there, there's a little groove, so that's where it slots in. So I'm going to snip these off, give these a quick clean down and glue them into place. And then the taxi sign just glues on the roof. So I'm going to clean those off and glue those on, and then we'll cut. Then the cars are done. We'll come back to you for the next piece. So I've got the sprues out of the different, you know, all the heroes and villains, and they've actually done it really simple. So one sprue is one hero or villain, which I was kind of worried that they're going to cross. You have to go between one sprue to another. So all you have to do is identify, you know, one part of that model, and then you know that's what it is. For example, this is Miss Marvel. Okay, so it's this funny bit of hair well, it's not hair, but it's a bit of a comes off like a sash. Let me grab another couple over here. Captain America. Talk about the shield. This one here, I was like, what's that? That's Spider-Man. Yeah, so that's all Spider-Man's parts, or everything to do with him. Each person's on their own little sprue, which is absolutely saves a lot of time, a lot of messing around. So the first, we're going to build Miss Marvel now. So the first part I need is number 8 and number 9, which is the front and the back of the body. That little bit there has to go. So to snip that along there and snip that there. Okay, so I'm going to snip that down, clean that down, and show you how the two bits go together. That's very straightforward. There's 4 holes. There's 4 pins. That just goes into each other. Okay. So the two top semicircles. That's our neck. So I'm going to glue those in place, and then come back for the next piece. The next piece is it's saying it's number 7, which is number 3, which is this piece here, and number 7, which is this piece here. Now I've checked it is the correct hand, because sometimes they have the arms mixed up. Now this little piece here, number 3, if it lets me focus in, there's a little square. See that little square? You need to keep that, so you just cut it along there. Okay, so I'm going to snip that off, clean them down, show you how they go together. And this is very fiddly, but I'm used to Necron warriors, and Necron models. So basically, if it focuses in, there's a hole in that part of the arm there, yeah? Ignore the little bit of sprue that I missed to clean off. Now this number 3, which is this piece, you have the little square, yeah? On the other side, there is a little pin. Okay, the little pin goes into a little hole. Yeah, so it goes in like that. So I'm going to glue that into place and then come back to you for the next piece. That's how that for the arm goes on. So the next piece is needed. I'm going to be doing the same thing again. But we need number 11. Where's the focus is? It's that piece there. Let's have a look. You can see the little square. So you have to cut it along there. Yeah. So you get rid of that little round bit of sprue and keep the square. And it's this arm here, which is number 6. And it goes on the same way as the first one. Okay, the little pin in that side goes in there. So I'm going to snip those off, clean those down, glue them together, and we'll come back for the next piece. Listen, there's where the fun starts. So we need our head, which is number 5. So I'm going to snip that off, clean that down. But there's a little square underneath our head. So we want to snip it there. So we keep that little square. Okay, so I'm going to snip that off, clean it down, show you how it all goes together. As a true fashion, I dropped the head. I had to find it. So basically, okay, let's drop a bit of glue. The neck piece there. There is a little square pin on the head. And that slots in there, like so. Now the fun part starts. We need the first arm, which is this one, and that slots just in that gap there. That's why you keep the square pin. This is going to be very fun. So I wandered off camera there. Head started coming off. Now, I always say, see the forearm piece there? There's a bit of sprue that I didn't get to clean down. That's not even in properly. The joys of this. You can wait for it to dry and then go give it a little fine sand down. If you have the little files, are even better. If you're impatient like me, just put a bit of plastic glue on it and it'll melt it away. So the other one goes in the other side. So I'm going to glue that piece in and I'll come back to you for the next piece. So then what we have is this. So far she's very fiddly. But, you know, like I said, I'm used to building neckrons and stuff like that. So the next two pieces we need are number 4, which is this leg, and number 10, which is this leg. Why is 4 and 10, I don't know. But I'm going to snip them off, clean them down. But you want to keep, see that little square on top there? You want to keep that. And she has a little square block there underneath her foot. You want to keep that as well. So just snip the sprue where the sprue finishes. You can see the square on her leg there. Yeah, this leg's fine to take. So as soon as I've cleaned those down, I'll show you how they go together. So this piece is very simple. This square glues into that square hole, like so. So I'm going to glue those two bits in and come back to you for the next piece. And so what we do now is you take this body, there's a little rectangle bit, so where you've glued that together, those two bits together, that just sits on top of there like so. Okay, there's a little V shape there, so it just goes between the legs there. So I'm going to glue that into place and come back to you for the next piece. Right, the next piece needed is number 2, which is this piece here. So it doesn't look like there's any squares or anything. So just snip it, clean it, and I'll show you how it goes on. Not me knocking the camera, sorry. This is very straightforward. So see the part of the leg there? There's a little groove. There's actually the same little shape there. So that hooks on there, comes around like this. So I'm going to glue that into place and I'll come back for the last pieces. Right, so the next pieces are needed. Number 1, which is this one here, and number 12. I'm going to snip them down, clean them down and show you how they go together. Right, it's very straightforward. There's a hole, I've already put some glue into it. There's a pin that just goes in there like so. And just get those joining lines squeezed together, and the glue bit around the edge should get rid of it. Then what we do, as you can see, there's a square in there. Let's put a bit of glue in there. It's around the edge as well. And her foot. Goes in there like so. So I'm going to hold this into place and then come back to you for the last bit of this model. Right, so if I look, so she goes on a small base. So I'm just going to whack some glue on here. I'm going to stick her on her base. So now Miss Marvel is done. Oh, Captain Marvel, shall I say. Let's go on to next. Do the lampposts, nice and easy. Right, I'll do the lampposts and the traffic lights because they're on the same sprue, nice and easy. So the first thing we need, this is what the sprue looks like. There's the lamp, there's the base for the lamp, there's the base for the traffic light, there's the traffic light, and there's the 2 bits for it. So first thing we do is snip this off. Yeah, we need this square at the bottom and this piece off. I'm going to snip those off, clean those down, and come back and show you they go together. This is very straightforward. So inside, you see at the bottom here, there's like a little lip. Okay. On the bottom of that, there's a little bit. It's just on there like that. Now we have a lamppost. Glue the other one, and then I'll come show you the traffic light. So the first thing we need to do is snip off the traffic light. Okay. This has to stay, and this is the base of it. we need a snippet there, a snippet at the top there. And this is the base that we need, which we need these two pieces as well. But we'll snip this off first, and these two pieces. And I'll come back and show you how they go together. This is very straightforward. This is one of the squares. Has a little bit with two holes on it. That literally goes in there, like so. I haven't glued it, I just clipped it in. This one has a pin with two rings, and that literally goes in the top there. Okay, and I'll come back to you for the last piece. Right, this is the last piece. I'll snip this off, clean it down, and I think you can guess how it goes on. Okay, so I'm going to clean it down, glue it into place, and I'll come back to you for another guy. Right, so now I'm going to build Dr. Octopus. So the first piece is, we can have a look at the sprue if you want. See tentacles, see tentacle bits. Looks like they're going to connect into them somehow. It's going to be a bit of a pain, but we get there. Body, arms, feet. There's his little head. So the first pieces that we need is the front of the body and the back of the body. I'm going to snip them, clean them. I'll show you how they go together. This is pretty straightforward. You can see all the holes, see all the pins. They just line up. So I'm going to glue that together and come back for the next piece. Right, so now that his body's glued to dried, the next two steps I'm going to skip ahead from them. We'll come back to them after, but these tentacles all need to be put together. They're going to be a real pain in the ass, and I want them to get as much dry time as possible before I glue the rest of the bits onto him. Now, if you're building this, you could glue the tentacles together and leave it for a couple of hours, but I don't have that luxury. I'm working away, unfortunately. So we need number, look in the lens here, number 9, which is this one. We need number 17, why the number so small on this one, which is this one. And we need number 6, which is that one. So this one, yeah, this one, and this one. I'm going to snip all those 3 pieces off, clean them down, come back and show you how they go together. Right, let's get this one glued. So the first one you're going to need is number 9, which is this piece. And you need it like that. Okay. I'm going to dab a bit of glue. There. Then you take number 17, it's very fiddly, and you see it's flat with a little pin, that's flat with a hole. So that goes on there, like so. Then this one has a little hole, there's a little pin on the end, that glues onto the end. Okay. Now look at this. Just be careful. See, that's very difficult to clean down. We'll try and get another clean down. There's just some horrible little bits of sprue left on there. So I'm going to give it a little clean down, glue that onto the end, and that's what that one done for the minute. Leave that to one side, and I'll come back to you for the next one. Right, so the next 2 pieces that we need is number 10 and number 5. Again, this just glues on the end, that little pin. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, glue that on, and then come back to you for the next piece. Okay, so the next piece needed is number 16, which is this piece here, and number 11. But there's 2 number 11s, 2 number 12s. But number 12 is not mentioned on here at all. Very strange. So anyway, I'm going to take number 16 off, and take one number 11 off and see if they go together. I think they do, just to make the 3 claws. I'm going to clean them and show you how they go together. Right, just chuck some glue in there. Basically, there's that funny little shape there between my thumbs. There's the same thing on that side. So that just slots. It's very fiddly. Slots in like that. That is very fiddly though. going to let that dry for a minute. And the next pieces that we need are number 3 and number 18. There's number 3. And number 18 is this piece here. So I'm going to stiff them down, clean them down, and you can already see the flat with the hole, the flat with the pin. That goes into that. Yeah. And then the little claw just made glues on the end of this piece here. So I'm going to clip them off, clean them down, glue all those 3 pieces together, and come back to the next piece. So the next pieces I have done here, 2 little pieces, is this one here, which number I can't even see. There we go, 15. I took another number 11. Okay, and the other pieces we need are number 4 and number 19. Now the 2 little pieces go together the same way the first one did, to give you the closed claw. And then again, these guys, the flat with the hole, the flat with the pin, they're glued together. So I'm going to clean those down, glue those all together, and we'll come back then to the body and what needs to be done there. Right, so the next piece we need, now they're all done, tentacles they're drying, is his head, which is number 7. I'm going to snip it off, clean it down, and show you how it goes on. That's very easy. Very, very easy. The next piece we need is number 8, which is this piece, his arms folded. I'm going to snip them, clean them, show you how they go on. Right, I've already waxed some glue on it, but you can see there's a funny triangle shape inside the arms, and there's a little square bit at the bottom there. Well, there's the funny triangle bit, and there's the square. So they just literally slot in like that. There we go. So the next piece needed are number 13 and 14, which is his boots, his feet. 13 is obviously his right hand side, and 14 is this side. So what I normally do with things like this, I'll snip number 13 off before I clean it down. I put it to one side, and the other one I snip off, put to the other side, and then I clean that one, put it back there, so I don't get, there's no confusion or anything. Well, as you can see, I already glued one leg on. It's very easy. There's a pin on the foot leg, and there's a hole. This just goes straight in. It's not quite freestanding, but it will be. Right, so now it's to glue all the tentacles on. Now here's the interesting thing about tentacles. Where they connect in, it's all different shapes. It makes life a little bit easier. But the first one we're going to go with is a closed one. I believe it's this one here. Maybe not. Maybe it's this one down here. Nope, we'll put it onto one side. Giant jigsaw puzzle. That is that one there. You can see that shape. This one, oh yeah, that goes on that side. Or does it go on that one? Oh damn it. Now, let's just start on the line now first of all. Which is this one. It doesn't tell you step 1 goes here, or step 2 goes there, or number this goes here, or number that goes there. You're just supposed to look at it and realise what one it is. Where's that one? Oh damn it. This is confused. That's the one that goes in. Oh, don't put the legs. That means you go up here. Yeah. That's probably the easiest way of doing it. It's just putting the glue into the holes. And it's working out which one goes in where. You look like you go up here. Like I said earlier, you would probably glue the tentacles together and the legs and all that, and then just wait for a couple of hours, maybe half, we'll say a couple of hours, but you wait a good little while before doing what I'm doing here. So have a bit more play with the model then as well. And then we have also Octavius, also known as Dr. Octopus. Now he's on a big base. I happen to have one sitting over here. So snip this and clean this down. Some glue on his feet. Look at that. That is, I tell you what, that to me, that's more impressive seeing it here than looking at it on the book or looking at the painted model in the rule book. That is an impressive model. Now the only thing I'm going to do is just drop a little bit of glue around the foot, just so that it goes there properly and dries properly and everything else and seals to the model. I like that. That's impressive. So I'm going to slide him across the table so he dries out the way, and we'll move on to I think another piece of terrain I think would be good, just because I don't want to do all the models first and all the terrain. I'd rather just mix between the two. I'll have a look at, see what's next, and I'll come back to you. Right, so after Mr. Man, it's a fantastic model, I'm now going to go on to the dump trucks. Again, it's the same sort of setup. So one sprue is one kit of models. So the first thing we need is this piece here, okay? So there's a big number 2 on the bottom. And we need this piece here, which is the lid. Okay, so I'm going to snip those two pieces up, clean them down, show you how they go together. Right, like knocking the camera, this lid, that's the front of the bin. With this bit here, that's the back of the bin. So it basically just sits in there like that. Okay, very straightforward, very simple. The next piece we need are these two side pieces. Okay. Now these little rivets that come off the side of it, we need to keep those on. It's just a snip here and a snip there. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, I'll show you how they go on. Right, it's very straightforward. So I put a little bit of glue on there. And that just clips on. I did a minute ago. I don't mess it around now, come on. Just clips on like that. Yeah. The other one goes the other side. That's that one. And then I'll come back to the last pieces for this dump truck. Right, one mistake I forgot. This has nothing in the middle of it. The other one has a little bar in the middle, so the bar slips between the two sides there. So this one, obviously, you can see there's nothing in there, and you can see there's a slight little nook in that corner. There's a slight little nook in that corner. So that goes on like so. Let me show you what I mean. This is the other dump truck, so a little bit in between, and the other side has nothing. Okay, so you can see this one has a little bar, this one has nothing. did it and I forgot to say it to you. So as the next pieces that we need for this dump truck are going to be these two pieces. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, and show you how they go on. Right, so H1 goes on his side. So put a little bit of glue on there, as you can see. It's a bit of a pain in the ass because it's very small and fiddly to mess around with. Basically, it goes on like that. To give you the idea that it can open. The other one goes on the other side. There is actually there's like a little bit that sticks out there. And on the inside of this little bad boy, see the little square. So I'm going to glue that on. I'll do the other one off camera, and then I'll come back to for the next guy. Right, so let's go on to Spider-Man. So absolutely amazing sprue. See the body. There's a bar there at the base. His legs, his head, his arm. He's got two heads there for some reason. Don't know why. Number's there. Number 6. Number 6, there's two heads on there, both the same number. Okay, anyway, so the first pieces we need are the two body pieces. I'm going to snip and clean them, show you how they go together. So Spider-Man's body is very easy to go together. There's pins and there's holes. And it just goes together like so. So I'm going to glue it together and then come back for the next piece. I'm going to jump ahead a step, because the next step is the legs, heads and all that business. But I'm going to jump ahead a step, and we need number 3, which is this rock piece, and number 7, which is the bar. I'm going to snip those off, clean those down, and show you how they go together. This is very straightforward. So you have the rock, yeah, like this. You take this bar, so you've got this weird little shape there, and that just slots in there like so. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the other side. So I'm going to glue it into place, and then we'll come back to Spider-Man himself. Right, because he glues to that, that's why I jumped ahead to that. Now I'm going to put his legs on first. Okay, so this is his left leg, this is his right leg. I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, I'll show you how they go together. Right, so when you're taking the legs off, there is a little hidden square. Okay, square peg, so it goes in. Okay, the other one, the same thing, has a hidden, when you see it looks like that, but there's actually a hidden little peg. Again, it's a weird shape, it just slots in like so. So that means there's only one way that can go. So I'm going to glue those into place and then come back to you for the next piece. Right, so the last thing of this, let's have a look at this head. Spider-Man head. That's the Spider-Man head. So I don't know why there's two heads. So basically it's the head and the two arms. Now this is his left. Yeah, that's his left arm. That's his right arm. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, and I'll show you how they all go together. Right, so I'm going to do this with knock the camera, of course. I'm going to start with his arm first of all. I was going to start with his head. I think the arm probably the best one. So there's a pin. It just slides in. It should just slide in. Like so. And the other arm. These guys are very fiddly actually. Holy smokes. I'm going to go off camera and put his arm in. Figured out where's my arm want to go on. I had it upside down. I was trying to do it like that, but it's actually like that. I don't know. His head was a little bit of a pain in the backside to put on, but looking good. This arm, apart from this arm, looks like it's come off. That's the joys of plastic glue. So look, arm looks a bit weird. Still looks weird. I've pushed his head. Oh my goodness me. I've not got the patience for this today. So I'm actually going to leave that to dry before I start knocking anything else off. But he's virtually done. Right, so basically he goes onto this. Now there's a little groove there. I'll show you. He has a little groove in his foot. So that goes in there and he gets glued onto that. Yeah? So that groove is there and he gets glued onto there like that. So I'm going to glue that and hold that into place, and then this gets glued onto the base. So he's up on the, yeah, so I'm going to glue that into place, do all that, and I'll come back then for the next guy. Right, so the next bit we're going to do is the last piece of terrain, which is the Daily Bugle newsstand. It comes with 2 bags. This is the first piece that we're going to need, okay? So there's little ridges in there. There's another piece that comes on a bigger sprue, but there's no ridges in there. Okay, so I'm going to snip this off and clean it down, and then I'll get the next pieces. Right, this is how it has to be facing you. There's 3 holes, 3 slots this side, 2 slots at the back. So the 2 slots have to be at the back. So the first piece we need is this bad boy. Okay, so I'm going to snip it down, clean it down, and show you how it goes on. So there's 3 bits that come down. That glues into the 3 slots. Yeah, like so. So I'm going to glue that into place, and then I'll come to you for the next piece. Right, so the next piece we need is this piece. Now again, there's two little bits that come down. Yeah, I've turned it around, so there's the 2 bits that go into. It goes in the same way as this piece, but just in the front here. Now when you put this in, be careful because it is wibbly wobbly. But I'm going to snip this down, clean it down and glue it into place, and then I'll come to you for the next piece. And the next piece we need is this tiny little piece here. It says door handle, so like a doorknob. And the next piece we need is this piece here, so you can see where the doorknob goes. I'm going to snip those pieces down, clean them down. Now you will be forgiven if you take this off and you lose it. Yeah, or if you just go, no, it's too small for me to mess around with, you don't bother gluing it in. But for those of you that are going to attempt it, like myself, I'm going to show you how it goes on. Now this is a pain in the arse piece. Obviously I've been gluing there already. I'm going to try and nudge it up into place. Come on. There we go. Because essentially it's like that. That's like 95% there. Look, there's a little tiny gap at the top where it's not quite in, but you're not going to see the inside. And you have a wonky door handle anyway, so most doors have a wonky door handle somewhere, or most houses shall say. Now this piece then, you can see there's that little bar that goes down. It just slots in there. There's two little bits at the bottom, 2 little bar bits, they're going together. So I'm going to I'm going to glue that into place and then come back to the next piece. So this is the next piece that we need. Again, there's the 2 bars. It goes in this side. I'm going to snip it, cut it, snip it, clean it, slide it into place, and then go back for the next piece. So I had to rush what I was saying there because I thought I was going to be disturbed, but they didn't disturb me. So that's how that looks so far. That looks absolutely fantastic. I'm actually really impressed with that. The next piece we need is this piece and this piece. So I'm going to snip, clean, and show you how they go together. Okay, so this piece, you have that mad bar. See, there's 2 little, come on, focus in your bar. 2 little things sticking out. It's the same the other side. And on here, I've been gluing it already, but there's a little nook there and a little nook that side. That just slots in like so. Okay, then this whole piece, see these little bar things here, these 3 little bars, that sits on top of that, in there, like that. It needs to go that way a little bit more, but you can get the general gist of how it goes on. So I'm going to glue that into place, and I'm going to come back then for the next piece. Right, we're going to skip ahead again. So we need number 3, which is this one here, and the Daily Bugle sign. I'm going to snip and clean them and show you how they go together. Right, so there's a little gully just underneath the rivets there. And when you look at this piece, there's rivets, but there's a big gap. Basically what it does, it slots in like so. So when you actually look at it, it looks like rivets. So I'll set that down to dry for a minute. The next piece that we need is this big bad guy. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, and show you how it goes on. Now I don't think it matters which way the roof goes on. It should just slot in. And so, there is nothing like any little bits sticking out for bits to stick into or anything like that. Now this lovely piece, the Daily Bugle on it, just run some glue along there. And some glue along that side. Because that just sits on top of here. Make sure that I'm on camera. Just a little touch. The way I'm measuring to centralise it, there's 1 full plank and a little tiny touch of the next one. 1 full plank and a tiny touch of the next one. Now that looks pretty central to me. That is absolutely amazing. And it's not finished yet. The last piece is the trash can, or the bin. So the bin has a little hole in there. The lid has a little pin that goes in that, and there's that piece of terrain as well. So I'm going to snip that off and clean that and glue that off camera. You don't need to see me do that. And then I come back, I think it's the last piece of terrain. So now it's just on to the rest of the heroes and villains. Now that's very nice. I'm really impressed with the newsstand. That looks absolutely fantastic. Anyway, there's that. Let's move that to one side. Now it's going to go straight onto the good guys and the bad guys. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go hero villain. I'm just going to go for the next one that's on the instructions book, which is this lad, the Red Skull. So the first pieces I need are these 2, front and back. So I'm going to snip those, clean those, and show you how they go together. Right, it's very straightforward. Pins and holes. Okay, so I'm going to glue them together, and then we'll come for the next piece. Right, so this is where it starts getting really fiddly. I've got to size those pieces. So we've got 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the first pieces we need are number 8 and number 9, the 2 middle ones. I'm going to snip them, clean them, and show you how they go together. Right, this is Superfid Lee. So this piece, this is number 8, has a Hell Hydra symbol on it, yeah? So there's a hidden square you want to keep. But this piece has a little hole there, there's a little square there, and that just sits in there, like so. Okay, this arm sits on his shoulder like that, so his arm goes behind his back. I'm going to glue that into place and then come back to the next piece. And you'd be forgiven if you couldn't clean it properly because it's such a small fitty piece. My advice would be clean it as best you can, glue it together, and when this model's finished, glued, 2 days time, you know your glue is perfectly cured. Come back with a sanding sponge and just give it a gentle rub down in the spaces that you think need to clean down. Or same thing again, but come back with like a sharp blade and just gently trim off the bits that need to be trimmed off. So the next piece needed is number 7, number 10, and number 3. Now there's 2 number 3s on there. There's just a hand basically holding a cube, yeah, the tesseract. So I'm going to snip those 3 pieces off, show you how they go together, and then glue them. Right, again, number 10 has the Hell Hydra symbol. The arm goes like that. Okay. The other arm, you can see there's a little gap, there's a little ridge that slots into there, like so. And you can see the top of that, there's a little square, triangle bit. The tesseract sits on top of that. Okay, so I'm going to glue them into place. So he's holding tesseract like that. So I'm going to glue them into place and then come back for the next piece. Right, so now that those 2 pieces are glued and drying, we're going to take his feet off and his head. Let's have a look at that head. The red skull looks absolutely nuts. The feet are self-explanatory. Left foot, right foot. There's 2 holes, 2 square holes. There's square pins on top, so they just slide in nice and easy. The head has a little weird shaped hole, and there's a little weird shaped like thing on the bottom there. So the sprue on this finishes just there. Okay, I'm going to snip those off, clean those down, glue those into place, and then I come back for his arms. Right, so now legs are in, head's in. So now it's just the arms. Some glue in there. This is this arm. Goes in like so. I can't get it in, can I? Of course I can't. Okay. Now this is a good reason why I always use plastic glue. So you don't, if I was using super glue to put that together, I wouldn't have any play on that. Now when I pushed that in, I had a little bit of play on the arm. Okay. You can see the arm's just a little bit off, so then all I need to do is just push it back up. And what I can do is just drop a tip of glue there, tip of glue to his belt. Not on his Hydra sign, you idiot. Push the arm back up. There we go. Into both place. Yep. See it, yeah. The other hand, square pin again. There's a square pin. Now be careful with this because it's a three piece arm, forearm, and well, tesseract as well. That just goes in like that. Now he's ready for some action. He has a small base, so I'm going to sort out a small base for him. Actually, I think this one's going to be the best place for him. So I'll clean this down. Yeah, I did, because it's all metal and the bricks, and he has like a leather type outfit on with his red helmet and the Tesseract glow. I think it's going to look fantastic, especially if I position him in a way like that, so you can see more of his base than you can. Fantastic. So the next person is Black Widow. Find her bits. There she is. Oh, this looks like another fiddly little sprue. Look at the little arms and the little bits on her. Holy smokes. Anyway, so as usual, first bit we need these two pieces. Again, it's pins and holes, so I don't need to show you how that goes together. Just snip it, clean it, they slot into each other. So this one's a little bit more difficult. So now we need this leg, number 8. I'm going to snip it, clean it. Don't need to show you how it goes on because square hole, square peg. Okay, so clip it, clean it, glue it into place. And next one we need is number 10, which is this piece here, and number 6. But there's 2 number 6s there, so I'll snip one of them off, snip this off, clean it down, and this is how they go together. Look, see the little funny shape there. Yeah, there's these are both number 6s. There's slots into there. So I'm going to snip them, clean them, glue that into that, and then I'll come to you for the next piece. Right, so this one then, there's a little square piece, there's a square hole, it slots into there, like so. I must admit to you guys, yeah, look at the models on the sprue, I was like, starting to put them together, some of them like, okay. Seeing them actually built, just absolutely amazing. And this fella, I think is the most, I'm actually impressed with this guy the most. It's very simple, and I'm not a big fan of Dr. Octopus, but it's very simple, but I actually really like that model more. Now in terms of the red model, Red Skull, I think is going to be a great paint job. I've had a little silly idea to do with Spider-Man here as well, but I'd say the models when they're put together are actually really impressive. Just looking at them first of all, you go, oh, not really. Not really sure about that. Anyway, the next piece we need is number 4, which is the gun holster. The gun with the gun and the holster. I'm going to snip that off, clean it down. I'll show you how that goes on. Right, so on her leg, there is a little square bit. There's a square pin on here. So that just slides on her leg, like so. So now we're on to the next piece. The next piece that we need is number 7, which is, let's get the speed up piece there, yeah, number 7 and number 5, which is that piece. I'm going to snip them, clean them, I'll show you how they go together. Right, so this is the bottom of the arms, number 5. You see there's a little hole that side. You see her thumb as well, okay? So I'm going to do, drop a bit of glue in the hole. There's a little pin that side. And there's a little peg that side. So that pin, who doesn't want to sit on me, come on you little. That goes in there like that, okay? So that pin then can go into her body. Leave that to dry for a few minutes. The next one we need is number 9. I'm going to snip it, clean it. I don't need to show you how it goes on. It's very self-explanatory. Square hole, square peg. So I'm going to clean that and glue that into place. And her head as well. The head. So going to go into there. Square hole. There is a little square peg there. So the bottom of her neck, around her hair. So I'm going to glue those two into place before I come back for the arm. Right, so this arm, obviously there's the peg, there's the hole, just slots in like so. Scarlett Johansson, aka Black Widow. Ooh. Exciting times. Now she goes on a small base, so I'm going to just want to quick clean off. Glue her into place. We have to hold her for a minute. And the next one up, Mr. Tony Stark, Iron Man. So first two pieces needed is the body front and back. Again, I don't need to show you that because it's pinned in holes. So I'm going to clip it, clean it, glue it together, and then come back for the next piece. Now this one there is a little few fiddly bits on this one, which I'll go through with you as we get to them. Right, now we start getting a little bit difficult. And I've looked at this and I don't know why they did like that. They could have done it differently, but I'll just explain what I mean now. So these two here are number 4 and number 3. Okay, we need number 3. And then we have these two up here, which are 13 and 14, and we need number 13. Okay, so what they could have done is put number 3 and number 13 next to each other and done the other leg the other side. So we need number 3, which is this one here, and number 13, which is this one here. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, and show you how they go together. Right, so pins and holes, but you can see there's a funny little triangle thing at the bottom of each of them. That has to be at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to glue them into place. That little square has to stay on the top as well. So I'm going to glue it into place and then come back for the next piece. My next two pieces are number 4 and number 14. Okay, so I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, and show you, well, they go together the same way. But this first one that we've just done, that is for this side of the body. Okay, so I'm going to put it there so I don't get confused. And the other one is for the other side of the body. So I'm going to glue that, come back to you for the next piece then. I'm glad they got this bit right. So there's 15 and 16 is what we need. 15 is this side, 16 is this side. Okay, so I'm glad they've got that bit right. So I'm going to snip these off, clean these down. I'm going to lay them the correct side, and then I'm going to come back and show you how they go together. Right, so basically, this is the leg from this side. That's the back. That's the front. That just slides into there. So I'm going to glue that into place and glue the other one into place, and then come back to you for the next piece. Right, so the next piece that we need, let's get this, these numbers are very, very small. We need number 10, which is telling me it's this piece, and number 5, which is, that's number 6, there's number 5. So I'm going to snip those two pieces off, clean them down, and come back to you. Right, so this piece is number 5. Okay, the top piece there needs to be at the top. Now, there's a plug that side and a hole that side. This has a plug and then like a funny little groove. Now, I'm presuming, yeah, the hole has to be at the top, because that's hangers in it, so it should go in rapidly, something like that. Okay, that should go in there. So I'm going to glue it into place, then come back to you for the next piece. Right, next piece is number 12. Now when snipping it, just be careful because that's where it goes in, and you want a little hole at the top there, so just be careful with the fingers and all of that. I'm going to snip it, clean it, show you how it goes on. Right, so I've put a bit of glue in the end there. There's a hole and there's a pin, but it goes in with his palm up in the air, so it's very fiddly. Right, trying to stick to me. Goes in like that. Right, so I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute, then come back to the next pieces. Right, so the next piece we need is number 7. So how small these numbers are, which is this middle piece here. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, and show you how it goes on. Right, so this little piece has a hole. There's a pin there, so that literally just sits over the top. So I think it's quite that way. It goes on there, but I'm going to fiddle with it and just get it right because it's not quite on right. Now it should be something like that. Okay, then the picture's showing me that front little bottom lip has to hang over the top there, but the other side looks a bit weird. I don't know if that's right or not. Doesn't look right, does it? That still doesn't look right. Anyway, I'm going to fiddle with that and I'll come back and show you guys. Right, so I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Look, a little bit on the sprue I missed. But if it's not, you're not really going to notice it. But I think that's right. Right, anyway, so the next piece is needed. It's going to be number 8, which is his arm. Number 6, which is this piece here. And the other piece doesn't have a number, but it's this piece here. The sprues tell me number 11, but the instructions tell me it doesn't have a number. So the two arms, well, the arm, these 2 pieces, and this piece. You might as well snip his head off and clean his head down at the same time because that's all the pieces ready for him then. I'm going to come back and show you how these 3 bits go together. Now I'm going to try and do this one little motion. So the one that doesn't have a number, this piece here, yeah, focus, there's a hole in the top, there's a little hole there, and there's the arm piece. Now the arm piece goes into the model itself, so it's meant to be like that. That's how it goes onto the model. So the first thing we need to do is chuck a little bit of glue in here. Take the arm, there's a little pin in the arm, and that slots into there like so. Yeah. Then we take the hot bit glue in the top there, and this is a pin and a hole. It should just slot on like so, like so. So now we have his other arm. So I'm going to leave that for a few minutes to dry, and I'll come back and show you how it all goes together. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy together in one motion. I say one motion, I'm not going to stop it and carry on. So I'm going to get some glue in the legs first of all. Square the bottom there. Square pin. The leg just goes in, so that little dip there. Yeah, that just goes straight in there. So there's one leg. On the other side, and the other leg just goes in. Now we're going to actually glue this arm on, and that'll be the one that doesn't get my way too much. much. So that pin goes in there. Like so. Glue the other side in. Again, the arm just slots in. And then the head goes up here. Little hole. Just slots on. Oh my goodness me, come on. The next one goes together. They're fiddly as hell. And a struggling with Iron Man. Yeah. I must say, when you look at it in parts, it doesn't look that great, but putting them together looks absolutely amazing. Then we've got some glue on his base. I think this glue's almost running out. I've gone for a base that isn't doesn't have steel on it. I don't want him to I want him to be on a concrete base because he's going to have metal armour anyway. Yeah, see how you use the paint pot to prop it up. So I'll leave that for a few minutes to dry until the glue starts to set on the feet, and then I'll move him across and we'll go on to the next guy. So the next one in the instructions is Captain America. This one seems a bit more straightforward. The first pieces we need are the two body pieces, number 4 and number 7. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, and they're the same as the others, pins and holes. So they're going to glue them into place and then come up to the next piece. Right, next piece we need is 11 and 12. So there's the 11 and 12 at the top here. Now you only need one of each. Okay, so 11 goes on this side of him and 12 goes on this side. So I'm going to snip one of each off, clean them down and put them to the right side and show you how they go on. Very straightforward these guys are. Right, so we have a little slot at the bottom of the base body here. Let's chuck a bit of glue in there. Didn't mold the casting the join lines, did I? And that just slots in there like so. Yeah. The other side, same thing. Now what you want to do, see the pouch? There's a little pocket at the top of it, little bars at the top of it. That's the top of the pouch. Okay, you'll see this side as well, the same. That's how it should be. So there's that. So the next piece that we need is number 2, which is, let's get close up on the camera here. This one, this side, number 2. We need number 1, which is his shield, and we need number 10, which should be this bad boy here. So I'm going to snip those 3 bits off, clean them down, and show you how they go together. Right, so let me knock in the camera again. The first thing we do is put a bit of glue in this piece of arm. Yeah, and we're going to take this little fiddly ass piece, and it goes in like that. Yeah, so I'll bring it up so you can see. That just slots in there like that. Okay. Now, if you look at it carefully, you'll see there's a few bits of sprue that I've missed. No, I've missed. I just need a little bit of, just a bit of fluffy bit on the edge of the, just up here. Yeah, there's no panic for that, because when this is all dry, I can come back and give that a nice little sand down, and it's all good. Now, the shield. The shield has 2 little pins inside it, and there's 2 little holes on his wrists. So that just slots on his wrist like so. So I'm going to glue it into place, and then come back to you for the next piece. And so the next one we need is number 3, which is this one here, and number 9, which is this little piece here. So I'm going to snip those off, clean those down. Now this piece goes exactly the same as the other little piece in that little slot there. So I'm going to clip them, clean them, and glue that into place. Now bear in mind that actually has the Avengers sign on it. So when it goes on his arm, yeah, the A has to be that way around. So when you're looking at the model and you're looking at the arm, you can see the Avengers A facing you. Okay. Right. So the next piece you need is the head. The head actually came off of me when I was taking the little Avengers sign off. So anyway, let's get the head in there. Let's get the arm in there first. We get this side in first. And this is the one with the Avengers sign on. There's a pin, there's a hole, just slots in like that, nice and easy. Same on the other side. Let's get rid of those joining lines whilst those there. Here's the shield like that. It should go in something. But that's too high up. Even though it looks great, it should be something like that. Seems to go in like that, but in the picture it's meant to be lower down. This is the shield's meant to be lower down, but I'll take that. Then the head goes in this little gap up here. Now there's a pin at the bottom of the head, and it's supposed to go in like this. Okay, so that's him. Of course the plastic glue stuck to me, of course it is. That's him done for the minute. So the next piece we need is these 2 legs. I'm going to snip and clean them, show you how they go together. Right, so with the legs there's a hole there. In this one, just put some glue around it. This one's a pin, so literally goes in together like that. And then see 2 holes on top. Run some glue across that. And he has 2 holes there, so that just slots in there like so. Let's just sort them out of base now. So there he is. Nice. So now we're going to go on to the next guy, which is Crossbones. Who's this dude? Looks like him. Yep, that's the guy. So mad looking sprue. So same as before, start with the body, 1 and 2. That's bizarre. Okay. This is definitely Crossbones, isn't it? Yeah. Very bizarre. In the instructions it's saying there's a block in the middle here that goes into a hole this side. Yeah, but as you can clearly see, focus in, let's me focus. pins and holes. So I'm going to snip those, clean those, and put those two together. Right, so it's the fiddly bit now. We need number 7, which is the, why is it not focusing? Which is the knife, and number 6, which is the pouch. So I'm going to snip those 2 pieces off, clean them down, show you how they go on. Well, so on the body here, at the top, there's that long rectangular piece. Underneath the knife, there's the same piece. So that glues into there. The little pouch, number 6, has the same thing, and it goes into that square there. Again, make sure the little flaps at the top of the pouch, so you get it wrong, glue them into place, and I'm going to come back to you. Right, so the next piece needed is number 11, which is this little skull piece, and number 8, which is our mask wing. Now the skull piece, as you can see the shape of it, is a slot straight into there. So I'm going to snip these, clean these, glue that into place, and then come back to you for the next piece. Right, so the next pieces we need are the 2 arms. So I'm going to snip them off and clean them down. That's square at the bottom, we need to keep that. Okay, there's one on each. I'm going to snip them, clean them, and show you how they go onto the actual model itself. Right, again, we're just going to do this one motion. We'll start with this arm. Put some glue in there. Just this arm. There's a pin, there's a hole, and it just slots in that there. So this has to be sideways. Need to be careful because of air pushing it back out. Do the same on the other side with the other arm. They connect a little, that connection point is a little bit rough looking, I think. What I'm going to do though, because I'm not happy with that, is I'm going to drop a little bit of plastic glue along the edge, just seal that gap, and then the hole there, we come along with the head. Without me dropping it. Stupid boy. It goes in sideways. It goes in sideways like that. I think that's a little bit off. I think it's supposed to be. That's more like it. The next piece we need then is his legs. Again, the same as Captain America. That goes into there. So I'm going to snip them, clean them, and I'm going to glue that together, and then come back for the next piece. So the next piece we need is number 9, which is pistol. Now on these legs, there is a square hole. On the back of the pistol, there is a square pin. So that goes into there. You can see the shape of the where the gun goes. So I'm going to snip that, clean that, glue that, and then come back for the final piece. So the last piece for this guy, big square hole. The 2 legs that go together make up a square pin. It just should slide in. It's not, which means there's an issue or something. I'm going to go off the camera and sort this out off camera. Okay, so for whatever reason, this square pin is too big to go into the gap. So what I'm going to have to do is take the clippers, take it down a bit, straighten it back up, and that should, no, it's not going to go either. Oh my goodness me, come on. So the next thing to do, just take the pins off altogether. Okay, because the point of contact is the legs, is the bit between the legs. So you go then, there's a pin between the two leg pieces. Now I'm going to take his head, body, sorry, and glue him on. It doesn't look how good cut there, does it? Let me see what I can do. There's nothing I can do there. I think that's as good as we're going to get it. What I'm going to do is run some glue in there. Now these things happen sometimes. We call that a miscut or misprint. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. Sometimes it happens. Now it's going to sort his base out. It's on a small base as well. So I'm going to give him this base here. Contrast part's going to come in handy again. Now I'm going to just drop a bit of glue, a bit more glue just underneath the feet. And leave him to dry for a little while, and we'll come on to the next guy. The next guy to build is Baron Zemo. So the first pieces we need are 1 and 2 and number 6. Where is number 6? Number's so hard to see. There's number 6. So I'm going to snip those 3 pieces. I'll clean them down and I'll show you how they go together. Right, so this is very straightforward. This is 1 and 2. Holes, pins, so they go in together, yeah, as normal, like the other ones. And this mad piece, there's a little curve at the top of it that just sits in that see those 2 holes? That just sits in there. There's only one way for it to go in. So I'm going to glue all that together and then come back to you for the next piece. Right, so the next piece is needed are his 2 legs. Now you can see there is a, let me look at his head off the screw. There is a pin there and a square hole there. They go together. Okay, so I'm going to snip them off, clean down, and glue them in, and then I'll show you how the body goes onto him. Right, so now what happens is we've got our little square at the top there. So I'm going to run some glue into there, run some glue along the top here, and this body part should, it does. So I was kind of worried that it was going to have the same problem as the other lad. Okay, so now we're on to the next piece. The next piece we need is this piece here, which is number 11. This one here, and we need. Okay, we need one of these lads, number 10. There's 2 there. I'd imagine because you drop one, there's you got the spare one. But snip those off, clean those down. I'll show you how they go together. Right, that is number 10. That tiny little grey speck. Now it's supposed to go on there. Okay. So I don't know if that's not been cut properly, or if I've cut that too much. There's supposed to be a square there. but it's not, seems to be where there's a square there for from going to the body, but the little speck goes on there. Okay, so I'm going to glue that into place, and I'll come back to the next piece then. And the next two that we need is number 5, which is the sword, and number 8, which is this piece here. I'm going to snip clean, show you how they go on. Right, so these two little holes, okay, go on top of the sword there. Now it's funny because in the instructions it's showing me it's a square block, but it's not, so that goes on there like that. Okay, I'm going to push it because I want to put some glue onto it, but it goes in there. Now if you're having problems, a dirty piece on the end needs to get off. If you're having problems getting that in there, then just snip those off and just put the glue on and just sit and hold it. So I'm going to glue those together and come back for the next piece. So the next piece we need is one of these lovely little lads, number 12, one of those. And I'll show you exactly where it glues on. In that little gap there. See where that hole is? Just in there. So I'm going to glue that into place. And then the next piece that we need, which is the last piece, is the rock, number 7. So I'm going to snip that off and clean it off as well at the same time. Right, I forgot to mention his head, because his head came off the sprue as I was taking the other pieces off. But the head is number 9, okay? So let's put this bad boy together. So the first thing we need to do, we're going to get some glue on this bottom part here. Here's what goes in there. About me dropping him. Hobby hands today. So it goes in there like that. Okay. Let's get his arm on. Again, there's a square pin, there's a square hole. It just slots in. Without me dropping it again. His head goes in there. And square hole, square pin. So at an angle so you can look that way. The other arm goes in there. Standard stuff as you'd expect. Now I can still see joint lines, so I'm going to run a bit of plastic glue across that joint line. Drop a bit of glue on his foot. Around that a little bit. And a small base. So I'm going to glue him onto his base. And he's done. Fantastic looking mini. Again, it's another miniature that looks actually more impressive when he's put together and not when he's, you know, just in bits. I mean, looking at Captain America as well, he actually catches my eye. Really, really nice. Even the Iron Man. Actually, all these minis really, really nice. Even the Red Skull, who's actually a very, very simple model. Even he actually gets, and I like the base as well. I think I chose the correct base for him. This guy's going to get some painting abuse. Wow. Those of you that see me paint the Astra Militarum Commissar, they're the same sort of armour. Anyway, so the last model in this little box is Ultron. So an amazing model. So the first things that we need are 4 and 5, which is the front and back of body. Again, there's pins and holes. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down and glue them in. Now bear in mind there's a little hole there, a little pin at the bottom there. So don't snip off by accident. Okay, so this is a mad sprue. So the next piece we need is number 7, which is this. Today's number 7, isn't it? Yeah, that's number 7. This mad arm here. Number 12, which is this one, and number 13, which is this one. I'm going to snip and clean them. I'll show you how they go together. Right, so these are a little bit of a weird thing. So if the hand like that, that's number 7. This is number 13. That goes in there like that. You see that's that long square bit by the rectangle between my thumb and finger. That's how it needs to be. So that bit goes there like that. Then you have this piece that you've got this mad little, this corner piece sits on there like that. Okay. So I'm going to glue all that into place and come back to you for the next piece. So this is what it looks like. Okay. Now, because I'm impatient, you don't have to be. The middle piece, number 13, glue that into number 7 first, the arm. Leave that to dry, an hour or so. Then come back and put this one on. Because that's so fiddly. As I was putting the top piece on, the arm was coming off, and I don't even think that doesn't even look like it's on right. No, it looks right. It looks right from that side. Right. The next piece that's needed, this is a lovely one again, is number 6, which is this piece here. Number 14, which is this lovely piece this side. So we just took those two, so it's that one. And the number 15, which is the one next to it. Now, I'm going to clean, these go on the same way. Okay. Do they? No, okay. So that piece there, I'm not going to go over. I'll knock on the camera. Connects into a little piece there. See that little square that sticks off of it? So I'm going to snip these 3 pieces off. I'm going to glue those 2 pieces together, and then I'm going to come back in an hour or so and glue number 15 on. Okay. When I say come back, I'm going to glue his head after this, but okay. So if I show you this, dropping the arm or breaking the fingers. Okay, so you have this piece like that. Oh, that goes like that, sorry. It's me not looking at it properly. That goes on there, like so. It starts to stay in there. I'm going to go camera hold it together, but that's basically how it goes. So you have the little square at the back there, see my finger thumb, the little line across the top. That is exactly how it goes in. So the next 2 pieces we need, whilst that's drying, it's number 10 and 11. I'm going to snip them and clean them, show you how they go together. Right, so this is part of the head. Number 11 has the square top there. This has the square peg. It just sits in like so. Obviously, his face needs a little bit of a sand off that edge. There we go, so I'm going to let that to dry. There's a bit I missed at the top there. Are you serious? So now I have to leave that to dry. Actually, no, don't. I run a bit of this join line there anyway, so get rid of that. Get rid of that little pip on top as well. And that is amazing. So I'm going to leave all these bits to dry. And this arm needs this little piece added onto it. But again, I'm going to wait for it to dry and then come back and do it again. Should be able to do it now, actually. So this shoulder piece has a little rectangular square in it. There's a rectangular gap on there. It just sits on there with the point coming down the arm. So I am going to glue that into place, and then we'll come on to the next pieces. So what I need to do now is do all these pieces in. So we'll start off with this side, this square. Draw a line actually. Some glue around that, and it is this arm. Pick it up. It goes in like so. The finger pointing. Let's get his other arm in. Again, there's a square part, and there's a square part that's just there. That slides in there like so. And then get his head on there. His head goes in at an angle. Oh wow. Now see this little pip on top of his head. Don't worry about things like that, because what we do is at the end, when it's all dry, you come back over with sanding sponge, the arms come out, and just clean it up. Then have to hold it for a few minutes just so it starts to set. Right, so the next piece is needed is number 9, which is this piece here. Yeah. Number 16, which is this piece here. Number 18, which is this piece here. So I'm going to snip all 4 bits off, clean them down, and come back and show you how they go together. Now, so the part we need, number 16, has to be like this. Okay. Now there's a little bit there, so I'll be dropping it. A little gap there. Number 16 goes underneath, and there's a little bar in there, so that just glues in there. Okay, like so. And then the top piece, this side's going to focus on me. There's another little groove at the top there, yeah. And the top piece, there's the same thing, a little bar and it's lost in there. So I'm going to glue those together. We'll come back to them for the next piece. So what you end up with is a piece that looks like this. Yeah, it's fantastic. Now, what next piece that we need is number 21, which is this leg here. Focus. This leg here. So I'm going to snip it off, clean it down. You have to leave that block in the bottom, the little heel of his foot, that little square block. You're going to leave that on there. And clip it, clean it, I'll show you how it goes together. Right, apparently there was supposed to be a square block at the top of his leg there. I think I might have snipped it off by accident, but it's not to worry, so it's still going nice. Some glue on there. And the foot, this part of the leg, where you got that little weird bit at the top, that's the top piece. Just slots in like so. You have to hold it for a minute or two. Now this is going to be the weird thing when I come to put them into the base now. This is going to be one of those things, same with 40k models, where if it's slightly off somewhere, it won't fit in properly. But if that's the case, simple answer is to snip that square off and then just glue them straight into it. So now the next pieces that we need are number 8, which is this one here, number 17, which is the middle piece, and then number 19, which is this piece down here. That goes together the same way the first piece did. So I'm going to clip that, clean that and glue that. And then we need the leg. Again, that all connects to the leg the same way. Let's have a look at this actually. There it is, there's the square. That's how there's a little square pin, that's how I missed it. So you can see, that's where you need to get it, just there. Damn it. Anyway, I'll do that and come back to you guys again. Right, so whilst those legs are drying, we need number 2 and number 3, which are these 2 tiny little pieces. Then number 2, which is, yeah, this one, number 2, goes on this side of the body, and number 3 goes on this side of the body. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them, and put them either side. Well, I tried to clean them, they're very small. I'll clean them, put them either side, and I'll show you how they go on. Right, so I've put a little bit of plastic glue just in the CS square, just above down a little archway there. And this one, so I can get it right, use my little tool. Should I think I've got the wrong way around. Let me just fiddle about when I come back to you guys. So that's sort of how it goes on. I don't think that's right. I think it needs to come around this way a little bit more. It all looks right. It's slotted into place. It sort of looks right to me, I think. Actually, let's just carry on trying to move that around a bit more. There we go, that looks a bit better. So the other one goes in here. So I'm going to do that off camera because it's very fiddly. That's the size of the piece that we're dealing with. Right, so the leg, start with this one. So I'll put some glue in there. This is a weird thing. It sort of goes like that. I think that little piece is meant to sit on top. Something like that. That's wrong. This is a hard one, this one is. Right, so the legs are very fiddly. I'm going to go for it. Something like that. Something like that should be. But there's no hole and pin, so I don't know what way that's supposed to be. Something like, it's meant to be something like that. I don't think that's quite in right. But I'm going to sit and hold that for a few minutes and I'll come back to you again. Right, whilst that's drying, I'm not sure about the 2 little bits I had to put on the hips. I don't think they're quite right, but it's not noticeable. This is the next piece. So I'm going to snip this off, clean this down, and I can actually measure up with the feet going and everything else. Right, so here comes the moment of truth with these legs. So one goes in there, that one goes in there. There's still a little bit of play on them because of the plastic glue, and that's gone in perfectly. So I'm very happy with that, because that's a very difficult, that is the most difficult model out of the whole lot. I don't think that's on right. Look at that. I don't think that's quite right. Doesn't look right to me. Just don't think there's anything I can do about it now. I just don't think it looks right. I think that little piece there is supposed to be around here. Maybe it's not noticeable, it's not going to be. But it's just that piece that side looks terrible. It's a little bit bad, it's not. It's absolutely terrible. Ah, dearie me. Let's get a bit more glue in there. Hopefully we can just plug that gap a little bit. I'll show you this on camera because when I mess up, I want to show you that I've messed up so you don't make the same mistake. I'm just going to take it out. I'm just going to remove it from the scene. But what I'm going to do is just run a bit of plastic glue there. Yeah, I think I messed up both of them. As I said, I think the little bit that comes over that side of the circle should be that side, but it's just so fiddly to do. Right. Let's just get this guy in his base and call him done. Goes on the big base. To be honest with you, I don't actually think that shoulder's on correctly either. Let me show you. I mean, I think it's meant to go a bit more that way. But I could be wrong. But again, it's one of those things that's not noticeable. Sorry about noise in the background. The farmers are in to do bits and pieces. There's only one more thing to put together. Okay, so these are the last things to show you, and I really like these. So these are the range for weaponry, for like range combat, range attacks. That's 5. That's the longest one. That's 4. That's another nice long one. And all these engravements in it are actually fantastic. So you can maybe paint them some really nice colours and make it really stand out. Number 3 is another one. Now the thing with this as well is you can use these to test out certain colour combinations, not just for Marvel Crisis Protocol, but for, you know, games of 40k and stuff, and, you know, fantasy and all that. Just test out colours on that. Something that just stands out, but you can actually see how it looks from models. Right. Then the rest of these parts. What the hell is all this? Okay, these are movement things. So we have 2 small ones. Okay, the small one has an S on it, and that's how it is. Okay, and that just clips in there. What's the point in that? So it moves. Okay, so you can, when you're doing a movement of a model, let's say this Baron Nemo character, or whatever his name is, see it's curved, that goes at the end of the base, and then you just move him to the other side. Now let's say he wanted to go around a building or something, you'd do it like that. Let's say there was an obstacle, just say this was here, and he wanted to go around it. Yeah, so then that's how you do the movement. Very, very simple, very straightforward. I was just reading it, so I know. So this is number 2 as well, for the ranged weaponry. So then we have 2 medium ones. Yeah. Again, that just clips into there. It moves around. And then this one, the large one. Okay, they're all both the same size. That just clips in there. Again, so you have the special movement. You have all the movement tools, all the range tools, and all the models. So the first thing I say to you guys is thank you for watching. It's a long video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button because it costs you absolutely nothing. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. I've had this box for a while now, I've been threatening to build it, and I thought, no, now's time to build it. In terms of models, the hardest model to build out of all of this is Ultron. That was the hardest one. Everyone else, straightforward. Even if they had fiddly parts, they're still very straightforward. My favourite one is still Dr. Octopus. I think that model is absolutely, I don't know what it is, I absolutely love this model. I just love this model. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, in terms of painting, I'm really looking forward to painting the Red Skull. I'm really going to go to town with this guy. But yep, some of these guys will start entering into the votes for weekly Wednesday votes, ready for Monday's painting video. I might even just chuck a piece of terrain to get painted up as well. Bear in mind, there's 2 cars, so one car might be in the vote, and then if that wins, I'll just paint both cars. I don't know. I mean, the cars are just, I have no idea. It's a totally different canvas for me to paint, shall I say. It's a different sort of challenge for me to paint, and I would have no idea what way to go with that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. So hit the buttons for me. If you have any comments about anything, just chuck them below. Everyone smash the thumbs up button to share this video as many people as possible, so to bring more people into this community. I'm going to bring you down and show you some pretty pictures, but you know, you chuck a comment below and just tell me which one you like the most out of these models here, and in terms of like what one you think looks really nuts, and not only that, which ones you are really looking forward to seeing me paint. And you guys hit the buttons for me. Until next time, take it easy.